GT Countdown. The top 10 anticipated games of TGS.
Tokyo Game Show is its own beast. When looking at the show, it's never a matter of examining what was shown at E3 months before. A lot of those games are never even shown or released in Japan. Plus, the Japanese publishers always hold something aside to make a splash. With this in mind, we pulled together our top 10 most anticipated games of TGS 2010. As always, this isn't what we think will be the 10 best games of the show, just the games we can't wait to learn more about.
Number 10.
Ni no Kune. The collaboration between Level 5 and Studio Ghibli announced 2 years ago is finally coming to fruition. The DS version of this magician's journey features stylus-based wizardry and a hefty spellbook, while the PS3 touts gorgeous visuals that bring Ghibli's animations to life in 3 dimensions. The ability of both companies to deliver spellbinding stories has us eager to see just what magic is in store as the two join forces.
Number 9.
Catherine. A supernatural murder mystery developed by the same team responsible for the excellent Persona 4, Catherine makes quite an impact with its slick, distinctive visual style and unabashed sex appeal. The trailer reveals more skin than gameplay, but a purported mixture of adventure and action elements imply this won't be a passive experience. We're definitely keeping our eyes wide open for this one.
Number 8.
Dissidia Final Fantasy II. We actually had to rewrite this entry because initially we thought that Kingdom Hearts 3 might be Nomura's new game, but now we know that it's a sequel to the mashup fighter Dissidia. The game is getting a complete overhaul with new stages, fighters, costumes, gameplay tweaks, and much more. We really liked the first game, and the sequel is looking to drastically improve it, so we're still excited. And what if Disney characters make it into the fray? We'll have to wait for TGS to find out.
Number 7.
Deus Ex: Human Revolution. Everything we've seen from the reboot of Deus Ex has us excited enough to punch a hole through a wall. Whether you prefer to gather intelligence through shrewd conversations, slip past patrolling enemies, or litter the city with bullets and bodies, Deus Ex lets you craft the experience that suits you best. The freedom of choice presented at E3 and Gamescom has impressed so far, and we're more than ready to see what Square Enix has in store for Tokyo.
Number 6.
Street Fighter X Tekken. When two of Japan's greatest fighting franchises team up for a crossover unlike any other, you can definitely expect a few heads to turn along the way. Comic-Con proved to be an ample staging ground for a reveal, but we're looking at TGS to fully give us the scoop on this unprecedented project. How will 2D meet 3D? Whose hair will stand the tallest? And for the first time ever, will Zangief actually get to wrestle a bear? The possibilities are just as overwhelming as our excitement. Here's to hoping we can put the squeeze on Capcom and Namco for details this week.
Number 5.
Final Fantasy Versus 13. While information has trickled in over the past few years since Versus 13 was announced, we've yet to see the game's battle system and other mechanics in action. Nomura promises we'll finally get a glimpse of Versus 13 running in real time at TGS in video format only. Given that Final Fantasy 13 didn't quite live up to expectations, many are pining for Versus 13. Can this one redeem the series?
Number 4.
DMC. We had a hunch that Capcom might finally show Dante's next game at TGS, and our intuition was confirmed at its pre-show event. This time around, the Devil Hunter is definitely leaner, and from the looks of the debut trailer, he might be meaner. His look has drastically changed from the prior game, so we're interested to find out if this is in fact the same Dante we've known and loved for years now, or if it's an entirely new guy. More perplexing is whether the new game will take place entirely in present day. Gone are the gothic fantasy lands of yore. In their place are city streets and plenty of vehicles for him to toss around. It's looking like the biggest departure for the series yet, and we can't wait to find out if it's all smoke and mirrors.
My name is Dante.
Number 3.
Metal Gear Solid Rising. The concept sure is enticing, but frankly a couple of trailers and a few scant seconds of gameplay, however tantalizing, are very little to go on. Kojima Productions needs to take the wraps off Metal Gear Solid Rising, and soon. At a Gamescom roundtable last month, game director Mineshi Kimura talked a big game, hinting at how Rising might put an explosive twist on the Metal Gear series' touchstone elements. Frankly, it's time to show rather than tell. We'll be making a beeline for Konami's booth at TGS, and hope we're not disappointed.
Number 2.
Let the bloodbath begin!
Shadows of the Damned. Well, we've waited a long time for this one to see the light of day, and at EA's pre-TGS press conference, the long-awaited game from Suda51 and Shinji Mikami was finally revealed as Shadows of the Damned. This third-person shooter has a bit of a generic premise in that you're battling the forces of hell, but it's what Mikami time and again brings to this genre that has us pumped up. The trailer didn't show much of the gameplay other than to know it's an over-the-shoulder third-person shooter, but hopefully TGS will give us more insight. The music of Akira Yamaoka of Silent Hill fame is just the icing on this devilish cake.
Number 1.
The Last Guardian. A simple story of a boy and his griffin continues to dominate our eastward stare. After being a no-show at E3 this year, and until recently off Sony's Tokyo Game Show pre-announcements, we at GameTrailers were a little worried that Team Ico's third strike could be sitting out the year. What we already know is small, delicate, and beautiful, like a poem. And with the developer's pedigree in tow, we couldn't help but give it our most anticipated game of Tokyo Game Show 2010.